That's the thing too. Like there are these milestones, right? That kind of as you're going through that check process, right? What you already mentioned some of that right there, but what other milestones have you guys set for yourself that either you've already accomplished or that you want to accomplish, especially whether it's this year, to be like, yo, I did it. Yeah. So no, and with that being said, like in this process of going through that startup checklist, right? What let's just shoot the just let's spitball on this one. What would you guys say has been like your greatest success in like understanding the startup checklist, going through it?
Can you explain the startup checklist
Yeah, exactly.
a little bit
That's
further?
my bad. Whether it's like, because, so I'm kind of slightly organized to the point where I gotta like, for me, everything has to be like an ingredient. Like, I have to understand like, well, okay, how can I succeed as a startup entrepreneur? So what I had to do was like create a checklist of like, okay, these are all the things that successful entrepreneurs are doing. So they've had, or they understand they've built a business slide deck. They have a really solid idea of their customer persona. They've gone to product market fit. They've done all these things. They've interacted with their customers, or they've sold a product, whatever the case may be in that, process, or just the startup journey. Like, what has been you guys' greatest struggle, victory, either or, you can talk about it.
Yeah.
And because, and especially being in the trenches, right?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. You're gonna probably not like me for this one, but like when it comes to business plans, like I think they sometimes can be overrated, and this is why though. Because as soon as you go and test it against a customer, they're gonna show you whether your business plan works or not. Right. So you can go all in, have that 10-page document say, from step 1, I'm gonna do this. Step 2, I'm gonna do this, right? And you might be able to walk them, but your customer's gonna be like, I don't like that. I don't like this. I don't like that. If you did this, I'm gonna do that, right? And then you also have to know like when your customer's leading you in the way you need to go. Like for example, like Netflix, they were selling DVDs because they're like, oh, our customers are buying DVDs. But they knew if they kept going down the DVD path, Walmart, all the other ones were gonna beat them there because they're just bigger, right? So they had to go in and say, hey, no, we started with rentals. We have to focus. We got to make sure we do this subscription box, right? Or these subscription DVDs. So sometimes you have to know like when you're moving in the right way. Even so, when you listen to customer feedback, you got to move both ways. So that's what I was saying. When it comes to business plans, you got to know that they are just going to be attacked the moment you go into business.
Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Period.
Shout out Mike Tyson. Yeah. So yeah, we didn't really put together a business plan per se in the sense that Caleb is referring to. But my responsibilities in the company is I'm build out the tech, or responsible for leading tech build out, as well as customer success once substitute teachers and school partners are onboarded. Throughout that time, I had to build out a product roadmap of what technology we wanted to get, features based on feedback from our early users. And our biggest success was finally getting our iOS app launched in November. And that felt good. I know I saw y'all get your app launched as well.
Hey.
It feels good as
Absolutely.
a big step, because now you can show someone tangibly, this is my company, this is what I'm building. It felt good showing my wife that, like, hey, this is what I've been working on in my mind.
Well, and let's talk about that milestone, because like that's the thing too. Like there are these milestones, right? That kind of as you're going through that check process, right? What you already mentioned some of that right there, but what other milestones have you guys set for yourself that either you've already accomplished or that you want to accomplish, especially whether it's this year, to be like, yo, I did it.
I think a paying customer
is
a pretty big milestone for any for any business that has that, B2B or B2C or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
Where when we had somebody who just out of the blue bought a book club, because that's what you could do on Bookum, I was like, oh, tight, And it's even better when you don't know the person, because it's like, okay, things are starting to resonate outside of myself. Exactly. And we talk about it all the time. It's like we're building a social network, so we need the network effect, and we are going to be on the treadmill pushing this thing, pushing it until it becomes a living organism outside of us. You know what I mean? But back to business plans, I landed somewhere in the middle, and there's going to be, if there's 100 founders in here, there's going to be 100 different ways of looking at it. So if a business plan works for someone like Caleb, who's like structured and is like, I need this, and this, it works. And if it's like Kyle, who's a little bit more fluid, I think you just have to figure out for yourself. And then, as Donavan said, you have a plan, but just be malleable, because things are going to change. That is the one definite about being in business, is that things are going to change.